Hello, welcome back. I've got a few projects going on in the kitchen, so I figured I'd bring you along. Um, mm, there we go. So I figured I would do some fermenting. I pulled some carrots out of my garden, and I don't really eat raw carrots, but I really love pickled and fermented carrots. So I figured, isn't this cute? Anyway, I figured I would pickle those. And I saw recently someone pickling red onions, and I thought that would be amazing. One sec. I'm going to pause real quick and look for the pickling salt. I forgot it. Okay, not pickling salt, of course, sea salt. So I have been. It's been an interesting week, and I've been struggling. Was it Friday? Friday I had to go to town, and I noticed just like a little something in the back of my throat, you know. And then by evening time, I noticed it starting to go. Oops, sorry, not used to this yet. It started going down into my lungs, and so I've been combating it with echinacea and garlic tincture and fire cider and elderberry syrup and oregano tincture. So I we'll see, and Nyquil and Dayquil. So yeah, I'm all about natural, and I know that Nyquil and Dayquil are probably really, really bad for me, but I have to function a little bit, and if I have to function a little bit, I need to not feel like I have to go lay down. And so I've got to take care of some things today. We're getting ready to go to visit our oldest grandchild and our oldest child, Tyler, and his wife, and Courtney, our daughter-in-law, and our other three grandchildren, Tyler's children, Jazz and Joanna and Grady. And I haven't seen Joanna and Grady since November of 2022. So I'm missing them because they live on the East Coast. Well, they lived in Louisiana until right now, actually. They are packing things up and going to be coming to California for Jazz's graduation. And then when they go back, they're going to be living in Virginia, I think. Yes, Virginia. Pretty sure. My geography on that side of the continent is not great. So anyway, but, and then the only other thing is that I need to get well. And I rested all day yesterday. And I'll rest a lot more today. I just needed to get some things done so that, like, I knew that these carrots would go bad before I left. So I wanted to just get them started, and then they'll be, when I come home, they should be just about ready. So anyway, I will, I was just listening to the new Torah portion for this week, and it is the end of Leviticus, and it was really beautiful because it started right out with, if you will keep my statutes and guard my commands, or something like that, paraphrasing. These are all the blessings that I will bring you rain and you'll be satisfied, and, just great blessings. And then later it's Leviticus 25 and 26, I think. Anyway, and it talks about how then if you forsake my commands, my Torah, my instructions, then, these are the consequences, and it goes through all the consequences. And so I'll be reading it, recording it tomorrow, and hopefully getting it up online for those of you that are following along with our Bible study Torah portions. So, but it's really beautiful, and it spells it out in black and white, and it's just like Yahusha said, if you love me, keep my commandments. And I there's just such a disconnect, because it's like, oh no, we don't have to keep the law. But it's like, but if you love me, you'll want to keep my instructions, because his instructions, as we joke, because in our Bible study group, because none of us, some of us have read the Bible multiple times, and Leviticus was a chore. And, you just kind of skip through it because it's got a bunch of stuff that you don't think, makes any sense or is pertinent. And then when you really slow down and you start to study, Leviticus has been one of my favorite books. It's just so beautiful, and it's all about how to thrive in life. Follow the instruction manual, and you'll have peace, and you'll sleep well, and you'll be protected from evil. It's just, it has been such a beautiful experience taking a slow trip through Leviticus. And I'm super excited because, Numbers also is not a very, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this one peeled, but, Numbers isn't a very page turner either. So, but I'm really curious as to what we're going to unfold in Numbers as well, because Leviticus has just been such a beautiful treasure chest of treasure as we've uncovered it. Hold on one second. My artichokes probably need to go in for 3 more minutes. Yes, I'm using a microwave. I have not yet gotten rid of the microwave. That's a soon on the list. Soon on the list. So these, I have so many bags of scraps for soup, for stock. So I'm going to go ahead and give this to the chickens. Who else has a chicken bucket on their who else has a chicken bucket on their counter? So I've got a chicken bucket and a compost bucket on my counter. So I'm just taking these and slicing them, making them bite size. And I actually took a kettle of, I boiled, kept in my kettle, and I rinsed the jars out, and I poured some in here in a bowl, and I've got my lids in there to sanitize them, because with fermenting, you'd like to start out with sanitary. With everything in the kitchen, you should be sanitary. So anyway, I am getting tired. I'm starting to not feel good again. Yeah, I've got to get better, because we're also waiting on our newest grandchild, be number 7, Theodore, who is due today. Today is his due date. And so we are waiting, sometimes not so patiently, because I'm also trying to coordinate this in with going down to see our son and other grandchildren. And we're supposed to pick up our Eliza and Obadiah when Lacey goes into labor. Kai's going to stay home with them and be there with the birth. He was there when Obi was born. And so, and then once Teddy's born, then we'll go over and pick Kai up, and they'll stay a couple of days and let mom and dad have some time with the baby. So we're having, it's just, it's kind of fun because it's a challenge, but we're in a situation where we have to trust the Father. And so it reminds me of like when the Israelites were in the wilderness and they had to wait on Yahuwah to, with the cloud, the pillar of smoke and cloud. They never knew what day or what hour he would pick up and say it's time to move camp. And so we're kind of there where we're just, waiting. And it's like, okay, what day's the baby coming? And are we going to be able to continue with our plans? I'm sorry, there's 2 doves that just flew out here, and I'm kind of on a bluey watch. If you've been following along on my Instagram, I had a injured, abandoned dove that I've been taking care of for about the past month, and I finally let him go yesterday. And no, that's not him. I can tell by his tail. Anyway, I let him go yesterday morning, and it made me sad because I miss him. And then today we came home from town, and we were walking up, and Rusty's like, he's back. And sure enough, we went, he was in his cage eating. We left the door open and he came back to his cage and he was eating. And then a little while later, I went out and checked and he was up on top of his cage, preening himself and just comfortable. And then I went out and he was gone again. And so I'm kind of on a watch out for him. So these should all fit in here. And then we will pour salt over it and water. There we go. Oh, one more. This guy over here. My fingers don't bend like most people's, so I'm always so nervous with knives. There we go. Okay, so shove these down in here. I am going to need a weight and a pickle pipe. So one more second. I'm going to turn that off. All right. So, ferment. Okay. 1/2 gallon is 1 tablespoon. So a quart is 1/2 tablespoon. So a pint is going to be 1/4 of a tablespoon. Oh my gosh, math. Let's see. Yes. So when you're using coarse salt, you would use 2 tablespoons for 1/2 gallon. So half of that is a quart. So that would be 1 tablespoon. Okay, so 2 tablespoons, 1 tablespoon, 1/2 tablespoon. Okay. Now I just pour it over. Some people make the brine beforehand. The challenge that I find in making the brine beforehand is that you don't know how much brine you're going to, that won't work. You don't know how much brine you're going to need because you don't know how much volume the vegetables are going to take up. So let me get my filtered water. I have well water, but this is also filtered well water. And so I just fill it up like that. Now I'm gonna, and it's gonna overflow. There we go. I might have to use, nope, they're too big. Okay, it's gonna go, perfect. So you want everything down because you don't want any oxygen touching the vegetables because then it could produce bad bacteria. So I'm not gonna need those after all, that's right, because I'm gonna use my pickle pipes. So push down. And you see what I mean about my fingers and stuff. I have hypermobility and my thumbs don't, they have no strength because I can't get the right leverage on them. Okay, so there we go. Pickled carrots. I'm going to actually put these on my counter. This is my fermentation station counter over here. So they will sit there for about 2 to 3 days. So they can go up to a week. Oh, one thing I forgot, and actually I really want in there is some of the thing they said is if you want to keep things crunchy, which I'd like the carrots to stay crunchy, and I tried it with my cucumber or my cauliflower, and it worked amazing. My cauliflower was super crunchy. You want to put a bay leaf in it. So see if I can, if it's too tight. There we go. I'm just going to slip a bay leaf down the side like that. Put this back on. Squish it all down. And there we go. That's it. I keep it in a bowl because it does weep as the carbon dioxide bubbles up. It weeps out, and so I don't want to mess on my counter. I've had many messes on my counter. So, all right, and then so real quick, I'm gonna continue in here. It's going to be, and let me be smart about this. Really brilliant. Whoever invented this was brilliant. So I'm just going to take these, slice them, and put them in my jar. Because I love red onions. Now, Rusty's not an onion fan at all. So the red onions are for me. And that's okay. At least he tolerates when I eat onions. Bless his heart. Okay. So there's, that might be enough. No. And one day I might get a really cool, I look at them all the time, the stainless steel mandolins and stuff, but this one, I think I got it at a yard sale or a garage sale, and it still works just fine. So if it's not broke, I don't need to fix it. I'd better to hold on to my money and use it for other things. We had to actually go to town today and get a new television set. Our TV is probably over 15 years old, and it you can no longer download apps, and all we do is stream. So like I can't get YouTube, and YouTube is like one of my most watched things. So it's my speaker. All right, so get some more sliced up. There we go. Cut those. I don't know that I'm going to put, maybe I will put a bay leaf in here. And say, I don't know if I'll put a bay leaf in here or not, but might as well, because I like my onions crispy as well. There we go. I'm just going to cut those and smush them in. Once again, do the same thing. I'm going to put half of a tablespoon of coarse salt and then pour over my water. Because of how this is, I think I'm going to make sure all the air's out with this one. Maybe. There it is. Just because it seems to be tighter. Just want to release all the airs. There we go. Okay, get it its own bowl. So there's 2 different types of weights. These are the 2 different types I've got. I will post the link to these. These are really hard because it's down inside and it's really hard to grip, and I don't have regular grip strength. So I like these that have it above. Makes it a lot easier for me. And let me see if I'm going to be able to smush this all in. See, I could have used a lot less water. That's okay. There we go. I like to smush it down. The air comes out the pickle pipe into where. There we go. So like I said, I'm going to let these sit on my counter for about a week. Well, we will be back at the end of the week, and they should be done by then. So, and then I will share them. Here, let me see. The red onions and the carrots. And they're fermented, and they will be. And the benefits of fermented foods are amazing. So healthy for the gut, for good bacteria growth and everything. So, and once again, I forgot the bay leaf. I didn't put a whole one. I'm just going to put the little piece of one in there. There we go. So I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. Like I said, we went downtown and bought a new TV. We'll get to set it up tonight. As the other one, it got to where I couldn't. It was so old it wouldn't support any new apps, and we don't have cable or anything like that. We just have a couple of streaming, like YouTube and such, and so it just got to where it wasn't working any longer. So we went and bought a new one today. All right, I'll get this all cleaned up. Hope you're having a blessed weekend, and I will see you again here real soon. Bye.